Hey guys, welcome to the video. The term time travel is very popular concept in movies and TV shows. But what about in real life? Well, this seems like an impossible theory. But there is also no evidence to prove that it is impossible. There are many incidents that happened in the world that people think is somehow related to time travel. One of these incidents happened to Flight 513. The story of the puzzling incident that allegedly happened to Santiago Flight 513 between 1954 and 1989 has been making rounds among the believers of the supernatural for decades now, and still, people aren't sure of what Santiago Airlines Flight 513 took off on September 4, 1954 from Aachen, West Germany, and was scheduled to arrive in Porto Alegre, Brazil 18 hours later. However, the aeroplane simply disappeared mid-flight over the Atlantic Ocean. At the time of the disappearance, authorities believed that the plane had crashed, and for the years to follow, multiple search parties were formed in order to look out for the remains of the passengers or the plane, but nothing was found. Time went by and decades passed. Santiago Airlines had already run out of business in 1956. Just 2 years after the alleged disappearance, and after failing to find even a single trace of evidence of a plane crash, the search was called off. 3.5 decades later, on October 12, 1989, the Porto Alegre airport in Brazil spotted an unauthorized aircraft circling around the airbase. The air traffic controllers tried contacting the pilot but got no response. Eventually, the plane came close to the runway and struck a perfect landing. It looked in a well-maintained shape, and the engines were still up and running even after the plane touched base. Once the airport authorities approached the plane cautiously, they opened the doors from the outside and, what they say, chilled their bones to the core. They found 92 perfectly preserved skeletons of the people on board, 88 passengers and 4 crew members, safely buckled into their seats. When they opened the cockpit doors, they saw that the plane's pilot, Captain Miguel Victor Curi, also in a skeletal form, still had his hands on the controls. Some researchers believe that the flight was in autopilot mode while it entered a time travel rim, and was roaming in maze of time. The devices in the flight suggest that the flight flew only for few hours. Researchers claim that it entered at a time maze in which 1 minute is equal to several many hours. And somehow when they found the right time path they returned to this world, but as decades passed in the present world, the changing effects affected the people on the plane vigorously, and they all turned skeletons from healthy human in seconds. But because of the autopilot mode, the flight was able to track its route to its destination. Another example of the time travel concept can be described with an incident that happened with an Italian train. In June 1911, an Italian railway company Zanetti announced a free ride for a new model of its train. For this, there were 6 railway employees including 100 passengers. The train had good food and drink arrangements, and the passengers were waiting to reach the destination comfortably. Meanwhile, the train disappeared after reaching a tunnel. A lot of research was done about, but no trace of the train was found. The further story came out later. 2 passengers out of 106 people of the train came out safely. He was very mentally disturbed and in a very bad condition. After much treatment and mental health treatment, the traveler finally returned to normal. However, he was not ready to say anything about this incident. Eventually one of them told that as soon as he reached the tunnel that day, thick white smoke started filling the train. People suddenly got nervous and started screaming. Almost everyone felt that a big accident has happened on the train. 2 of them were able to come out of the train, but they don't know how they came out of the closed train. Nothing could reveal the mystery of the train, but some people and researchers thinks the train time traveled by supernatural powers. Later the tunnel was completely closed. The train was seen in many parts of the world including Ukraine, Romania, India, Russia, Mexico and Germany. After that, the mystery of the train went deeper. According to several media reports, the train was spotted in Mexico in 1940s. Decades later, a doctor in Mexico claimed that 104 people were admitted to the hospital in which she works, but all of them had become mentally deranged. They were saying that they had come by some train but could not give any details. However, 104 passengers plus the 2 passengers that came out before makes up a total of 106. So, all the information was indicating the Zanetti train. It was later reported that the train of the same model was seen in times way before the train was introduced. So these concepts are pretty much harder to explain. Guys, what do you think about existence of time travel? You can leave your comment and don't forget to subscribe.